Hello, everybody, and welcome to It's a Swirl World. If you didn't catch us last week in our little issue we had, we are back again this Tuesday, and everything, thankfully, is up and running. So, with no further ado, I'm Piper.
I'm Dee.
And I'm Danny.
And as always, we first want to start off with telling you that we are not professionals, so please don't take anything we say serious. Everything is BS, in our opinion only. But it matters more because we're doing a live show and we're not. No, I'm just kidding. So, as always, this is a safe space. Everybody be mature and respectful, and let's just have a really good discussion and respect everything that everybody says and know that we're all just speaking maturely and openly about all things swirl. And today, our show, we have a special sort of dedication for our show. We don't usually dedicate our show to anyone, but this show was inspired by an article written by BW blogger Bougie Black Girl. We'd like to dedicate this to her and her family, and we're sending her love and light. She had a severe loss in her life, and some of the stuff that we're doing tonight will go over some things that have to do with her article in particular. So we wanted to dedicate this entire show to her. And without further ado...
Don't.
Well, we
further
love
ado,
Black Girl. And we are definitely, like Piper says, sending you love, light. We just can't imagine what you're going through.
It's heartbreaking to lose someone, and she is suffering a severe loss, so we want this to be a show that really shows her and gives credit to her, because without her, we wouldn't even be doing this show. So, we give this to her.
Yep.
Now let's get on into goodness.
Yeah, before we jump...
badness. It's actually bad. It's not good.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's sad. It's still sad stuff.
Sad news. So you guys know that our beloved Prince passed away. Prince Rogers Nelson passed away April 21st. And it's just complete devastation to the nation. So we just had to give a shout out.
Yes.
We love you, Prince, and he is severely missed. An amazing musician. And I was devastated. I mean, I cried like legit tears. I have the artist formerly known as that symbol tattooed on my lower back proudly. It's been there. I can't even remember when I got it. It's how long I've had it.
It's your tramp stamp.
It is my tramp stamp. While people were getting like the Rough Riders and Pauls and stuff on their tramp stamp, I got the artist, and I am not ashamed.
That's probably better than Pause or a Target.
Yeah. So, shout out to Prince. He will be greatly missed.
Sorely, sorely missed. And in other Idol news...
Yeah, I love that. It's great. Idol.
Yes, because there are so few idols now. We don't have Whitney. We don't have Michael. So, in other Idol news, Janet Jackson is pregnant.
Yay.
Finally, or for the second time, allegedly.
So, okay. So she's pregnant. Okay, yeah, so for the second time. So did you hear that her ex-husband has come through the woodworks talking about something he thinks that, who was it, Ruby? The sister? Ruby? Yeah. The child that is allegedly Janet Jackson's niece. Well, I mean, we all know that, but that's neither here nor there. My thing is, why is he coming out of the woodworks now to talk about it?
Well, it's been a while. He's been saying it for years that they had a kid together. Like, this is not the first time I've heard that Janet Jackson and the Bars had a kid together. But it's always been rumor. But that kid would be like 35 or something like that now. So it's never been, Janet has never stated whether that was true or not. So he's just always said it, and his family says it, but nobody knows for sure. So right now, at 50 years old, she is pregnant.
I
And she says she's going back on tour.
What's that?
She says she's going back on tour.
Because, okay, you have the kid, if you're truly giving birth and not having a surrogate or whatever, you're going to work out, you're going to get yourself back in, tip-top shape, and then you're right back on the road. But the trolls come out. I mean, there's so many women who are, like, angry because, and calling her selfish because she's having a baby at 50.
I see what they're saying, but it's not our business. If she can pull off having a healthy pregnancy at 50, I say more power to you. Go for the goal.
But how is that
She has a millionaire's baby to sire. She needs to have one for the kingdom, as Wendy Williams says. She has to have an heir to the kingdom. So, do you? That's what I think. I'm like, do you? It's not my business.
But my thing, what's selfish to me? A chick who is emotionally and financially unprepared to have children and has numerous children and is miserable and unhappy and can't provide for them. That to me is selfish. Now, JJ may be, 50, but if she has, the emotional stability, she obviously has the financial means to take care of, Junior, then go for what you know. And if my husband, my cajillionaire, because that's what he is, like, husband said, have several seats and push out my baby, I'm going to be like,
I'd be like, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to peace out to everybody and have a whole stadium full of seats.
Yep.
And the doctors are by her side 24/7, I'm sure. And they are going, she's got the best care in the world. So, Crazy in Love, hey, girl, says, you better say that, D. Janet can take care of hers. Yes. That's all I'm saying.
She is more prepared than most people to have a child. I think she should go for it.
Why do you think it is that people are saying that she's selfish, though? Is it because of her age, or is it because they're just haters?
I think some of it is haters, and then some of it is because of the inherent health risks for a pregnancy later in life. However, for me, I'm like, that's not my business. I mean, if she does have a baby that has, maybe some developmental issues, that's her business, and that doesn't mean that baby is any less lovable or deserving of love just because of that, so I don't care either way. But I know some people think of it as selfish.
Like, modern medicine is so advanced, why are we still hanging up on all these old, like, cliches? Like,
because people always gotta hate on something.
This is something that, like, honestly, we're beyond a lot of these issues medically. Like, we've advanced past a lot of these.
But there's somebody to say something about everything.
That's why I think it's all haters.
Halle Berry
it's not tea I'm sipping right now.
Diana Ross had her children late. Now, granted, Halle Berry and Diana Ross were mid-40s to late 40s when they gave birth to their children, and Janet is older than they are. She's 50, but she has the means to do it. Go for it. Do what you do. And I love Janet, so she can do no wrong. So,
yeah.
Right.
So,
right.
On to other pop culture, BWWM. And Prince isn't necessarily BWWM. Prince is just Prince. He is self-sufficient. That name alone is self-sufficient, and that is why we brought him up.
And he fits into every topic. So
he's everything. Yes.
He's every man.
Everything. And
he's every man and every woman. So
yes.
hey, you know how Target's doing the? I heard that they're gonna do like California just passed this ordinance for all new bathrooms to have like gender whatever bathrooms. Like you have to if you're building a bathroom, it has to be a single stall gender bathroom.
Okay.
Gender accessible. And instead of doing like the man in the standing in the pants and the woman in the dress, they're just going to do the Prince symbol on it, and it's going to be a purple sign.
Right, as it should be.
Nice.
I don't know too many 5'2", light-skinned sex machines that I would give it to other than Prince, because he could have got it.
Right?
He could get it. Wearing my bonnet on his head and a lollipop, and he could have got it. Well, that's that. And then what's so weird is that I posted that meme where there was the split screen of him and Michael Jackson, and it said something like, these women or these two guys are the only guys who could, get dressed in women's clothes and still get laid. And I posted that at the beginning of April, and so many people agreed with me because I love Prince, and I was just like, I want to post this, and it was like a long comment trail, and then 3 weeks later he's dead. Can't.
Yeah, but Prince could get it. I mean, he had that deep old voice, and it was so deceptive. So I thought he could get it.
Listen, he could have gotten it. Nothing.
Yes, I agree.
Oh wait, and then like a guy, one of my friends, said on the page, he was a hater. He was like, "Oh yeah, he's so sexy. No, he's so studly. He's such a man." And I was like, "He's a hater." And then he was like, "But you're like 6 feet, D." And I'm like, "We're all the same size when we lie down, so okay."
You're like, whatever.
Whatever.
We won't be standing up.
Right. So Diana Wellington, hey girl, she says she kept checking in every 5 minutes. Yay. So we are happy to have you ladies here with us, and we anticipate some more folks. They probably think we're late.
And we were on time, like so close to on time.
Actually, right.
we should be patting ourselves on the back. No CP time today.
We're gonna be, and now that we figured out all this stupid chat stuff, as long as you
Danny is our resident guy. He's awesome sauce. So he figured it out, and we left him to those devices. We knew he would figure it out, and he did. And he was excited when he reached out to us, and then we got excited, and we were all like super excited.
Yeah. Sorry to everyone who had to sit and watch and thought there was a show and just saw this the whole time.
But they were commenting. I read the emails. I was cracking up.
I'm like really? Like the sign says it's just a test.
Crazy said, it's true. I just knew y'all would be late, and you weren't. See, yay, that's pats on our backs. We were on time. That's because everything aligned. All of the tech stars had aligned, so we were good.
Yes.
We weren't on CP time this time.
I'm so happy. I was like, yes, finally, success.
I was so tired last week. I was like dizzy. We actually have that show privated. Like we were not going to release that tea because it was just a mess.
No, it was awful.
It was great. It was great content, but it was horrible that nobody could interact.
I apologize for the automatic just end. I was just like so annoyed with everything. I was just like,
we're done. Hello.
Yeah,
we're like hang the phone, like hang up the phone.
He just dropped the mic. He's like, this is over. Drop.
Diana says, my mom loves Prince. Zahara Bryce says, yay, I didn't fully miss it again. Hey, everyone. Hey, girl. Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
yes. We are on time today.
I'm so happy. And now, what was Danny talking about? He was talking about Target, so which helps us go into our Old Navy situation that we have going on.
Flawless transition, Piper. Flawless.
Yeah, wasn't it though? It was so effortless.
About something totally different. Let's talk about something.
Oh, that's not. That's not related.
What?
Old Navy and the Target thing?
No.
Well, no, they're two stores.
They're just two retail stores.
Oh!
She tied them together as retail stores.
I'm
like,
really
flawless transition.
Okay, sorry. Slow moment.
Flawless.
I slid in there. It's going down in the DMs. Anyway, so Old Navy and all their interracial situation, well, they put out the ad with interracial couple with the black child, which makes no sense. But anyway, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that issue. I have beef with
the
that.
Black kid.
But the white man and the
Latino
darker brown wife, but I don't think she's all black.
Yeah, we think she's biracial too.
She's dark brown, and then they have a black child. Whatever. Anywho, it's caused a major controversy in the world of every racist known to man. They've all come out the woodwork to boycott Old Navy. And literally, they have left some of the most racist, crazy, insane comments that I've ever seen not ever, because we all know my videos get all those same people. But they're the most racist comments I've ever seen about people just saying, like, you know, they're not going to shop at Old Navy, and just it's genocide of the white race. We are oppressing the white man by doing this. It's so crazy. It's stupid as all get out. Just people going nuts over this family and talking about just the
this faux family.
The word we
a faux family.
Yeah, this family. It's not even a real family. First of all,
Not
these people
even
probably just
real.
met the day of this commercial.
They're not. They're fake.
And
way
so
more things to get angry about racist white guys.
And everybody is using the word miscegenation out of context. Every person who's ever heard the word is just using it without any context. It's not really making a whole lot of sense, but they are going for broke.
You know what, Piper? That's a good point. You're very misogynist.
Miscegenation.
Yeah. Oh God, I was so burnt out on that word.
Yeah, it's bad, and they
need
all
to retire
use it. And it's like white genocide, hashtag white genocide, because the white race is in jeopardy, apparently, of going extinct. Whatever.
Well,
But yeah, apparently the white man is oppressed in this day and age. So there's so much going on. Then there's people who said, I mean, there are people who spoke out and were like, this is ridiculous. But the number of people who spoke out against it versus the number of people who spoke out for it is drastic. Mm-hmm. So many racists, so many keyboard thugs and keyboard racists came out and like the Twitterverse as all against this situation. And it's just crazy. In my mind, it's nuts. What do you guys think?
Well, can we back up a little bit before that? Because Crazy in Love says, Piper, I'm interested in your thoughts on the woman potentially being biracial and them having a black child.
Oh, here's my situation. Let me break it down for you, sister girl. I have an issue with, there are so many, like, interracial people who don't get a lot of credit. They don't get hired for a lot of things, or they get hired for things for just one specific race, and so they're forced to either deny their race on one side or deny being mixed or something like that. And so you have this white man and this obviously brown woman. We don't know really, you know, what race she all encompasses. But then they have a completely black child. It's kind of like the Cosby Show with like Denise and Sandra, and you know that, you know, Cliff and Claire could never have had Denise and Sandra. Like, in what world did those two get together and have Denise and Sandra? You know, those two people did not make that child.
Remember, Bill's dad was really light-skinned, though.
What the ruck ever?
He's still darker than that.
He was blacker than that, but he was light-skinned. And maybe it was just a silver hair that threw it off for me.
Bill. No way. And those were not Bill Cosby's parents. So
no, I'm saying. Oh, sorry, Cliff's parents. Actually, no, Heathrow's parents.
I just think I think that they really need to do better at either finding a kid that could actually have possibly existed between these two people, and there are a lot of mixed children in the world, so it's not like there was none.
If she were, you know, fully black. Because I don't think she is. No, but if she were, I think she was biracial. But if she weren't and she was, you know, legit black, and it was him, I could see a little bit more. Like,
I still can't.
It still would have struck me, but it wouldn't be like it was like, whoa. You know, they adopted this kid. You know, I mean, if she was like darker than me, then I could. This was kind of like really, like, you know what I mean? Like, when I saw it, I was like, really?
Yeah, like, was that the only kid you could find? Like, come on. I mean, if you're going to venture into this taboo area of interracial relationship, at least make the kid believably theirs. I mean, I have a lot of experience with mixed things, mixed children, and mixed people. And let me tell you, those two people would not have created that child. And it just, to me, I just think that there are a lot of ways to incorporate a true idea of what, you know, an interracial couple is and what they can create.
Well, with a BWWM couple, because I've seen white women and men where those children look 1,000% Asian. It's like things are strong up in there.
So can I
get those kids out of his mouth?
Can I jump off script for just a second?
Absolutely.
No.
And ask a question? Piper, when did you enter the Legion of Doom?
What?
Your background is black and it looks like you have fire all around you.
I can't fix it now. I can't fix it now, damn it. I don't know why it did that. But whatever, I'm rolling with
fire. Every time you move, it's like a flame going around behind you.
Here. Let me see if I can go to Venice.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Venice.
Oh gosh, that's so distracting.
Can you go to Delaware?
Fire
thing
behind you.
I feel like I'm in Venice, so I
Can
feel
you go
like
to Delaware?
No. I don't want to go to Delaware.
Remember Wayne's World? Hey.
Oh my gosh.
We're in Delaware. Cool.
You're way off topic, Danny.
Sorry, Old Navy. Okay, so what probably happened that day was they were like, hey, there's a dark girl. Let's put her in. Hey, there's a white guy with a ginger beard. Let's put him in. Hey, little black kid, want to be in this ad? Come over here. And they just like threw them all together. And they're like, yeah, that looks like it could be a family. Why not?
Yeah, it was a complete mismatch. But Crazy in Love says, ha, I totally get what you mean.
I just think they could do a better job. I mean, it's realistic now in this day and age. It's so realistic that, you know, interracial, especially BWWM couples exist. So there are millions of children from unions that are in the union to be actors and whatnot, and it's like they kind of always go for this mismatch to really like drive home a point or something. In my mind, that's what it seems like, because they never do what's necessary. It's either two black people have this mixed kid from God knows where that happened, and it's clear that that kid's mixed, or they have an interracial couple with a kid just of one of the races, and they just totally ignore the fact that those two people could never have created that child. And I always seem to notice it, and maybe that's because of my own lineage and my issues with that I notice it more, but it just bothers me. So that's my deal.
Maybe they were just trying to go with the whole Brandy Cinderella storyline, and they just totally missed on it.
That was funny as hell. That movie was ridiculous. But I was like, all right,
it was beautiful. It's a fantasy.
It was beautiful and totally unrealistic.
We would live in a world where none of that matters.
Yes. But in that
so that's what Old Navy was saying.
Right.
But in that situation, you could expect it. You could expect it because in that situation, everybody was sort of a hodgepodge of different cultures, and so it was really nice and kind of empowering to see because you understood that's what they were trying to do. They were breaking down a wall of this. But then to have this interracial couple and then just throw in the black kid, it's like, come on.
That's
he was biracial, and he just didn't look like it. You just never know.
That's probably what they were doing. They were going like, color doesn't matter. Here, brown girl. Here, white ginger man.
Crazy in Love says,
transparent boys. Oh. Here, African kid. You're all gonna be a family now.
Crazy says, listen, Brandy Cinderella is off limits.
I got it.
I love that movie.
And then we got people talking about dating.
Zahara says, when I saw it, I said, who's the black kid? In reference to the Old Navy ad. And then I thought maybe she went black and never went back.
See?
Oh, gosh. when I saw it, I just was like, oh, this is cool. And you guys know how we share when we see these things, you know.
Yes.
So we share, and I was like, oh, this is cool because you just see it so many, you know, so much more. And we talked about that in our last episode, well, our legit last episode. So when I see it, I'm like, oh, this is awesome sauce. I just told Danny, last week? I think I told you there's a BWWM on my block. Well, kind of like on the block beside me. Yeah. But they're not attractive.
So what do they matter? In the grand scheme of things, they don't matter. They're both quite ugly.
So no lie. When I was looking for a new church in white South Orange County, white and Asian South Orange County, is this true or not? Did I send you guys pictures whenever I would see a BWWM at a church? I would stalk them and snap pictures.
I know. It'll be like the back of their head off to the side.
I was like, look, I found one.
Yes, very stalker-like.
Of the people in church.
Yeah. So I was bad too because I would take pictures of people in the mall. Taking pictures from people, you would take a picture like they're walking past and I'm like behind them.
Let's see. Do we have anybody saying anything in the comments? Crazy in Love said, damn, D. What did I say?
That they were ugly, so it just...
Oh, they weren't attractive. Ooh. I mean, they're not. Oh, sorry.
I don't know. They were BWWM, but they were too
ugly. They're just not pretty.
They're just not attractive. Yeah.
They were subjectively attractive.
She goes on to say, I'm seeing more BWWM and BW on my campus, and I love it. That is what I want to see. I want to see more A and BW.
I have actually seen quite a few lately, and it's been really interesting.
I know. I remember you mentioned that. Like that's what you're seeing lately.
Me
and
too.
that's what you would you would explore. I'd be down. They just got to be taller than me, and that just doesn't really happen.
AMBW ain't gonna work like that.
In your world, that'll be hard, but every once in a while there are some.
For me,
it doesn't matter. I'm only 5'2", so they can be. All they gotta do is be higher than 5'2", so.
Yeah, I mean, D. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean.
There are 6 foot tall Asian guys.
I know.
There are a lot of them. Look at some of the K-pop star guys. There's some of them are topping out at 6 foot. No.
Diana says I saw. I'm assuming this is AMBW. It's like a fat
LM.
What?
LMBW.
Oh, a Latino man.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was so excited, but
I don't think I've ever seen
to show
before.
Hey, that's my culture, man.
At my grocery store, and I was excited to try it, but not to see it. Huh.
The shortest she goes is 5'5".
No, ma'am. Mm-mm.
The shortest I go is 5'7". I like my men tall.
Dude, that's still 5 inches taller than you. Like that's huge.
I like to be picked up and held, and a guy who's 5'5" just can't hold me very far off the ground.
The shortest I go was 5'11". Yeah, I did the 5'9".
Well, yes, you have to.
And then it was, oh my gosh, that ego was like 6'8". Seriously, like
I have a friend. I have a friend that thinks you're super pretty.
It's not my boo.
Huh?
He likes the white chick. I saw the pictures up on your Facebook.
No, because that night we had a conversation about you.
Well, I'll be out in October.
He was not there with the white chick, but he's only 5'7".
Oh, snap. You're gonna have to duck down.
I was that height when I was 11.
He said, she looks tall. Is she tall? And I was like, yeah, she's tall. And he's like, oh, that's sad. They don't really go for me.
She's a supermodel status. D is supermodel status. I envy that height.
I love being 6 footer. 6 footer quitter. Crazy says it's funny how you guys bring up
short.
What's that?
I said I'm short everywhere I go. I'm like the shortest person. I'm petite and short, and people are always like trying to throw me places. It's very annoying.
Yeah, people
I
are
want to
like,
be able to stomp on people.
What's going on here? We were freezing up for a second. Crazy says,
Oh, my bad.
It's funny how you guys bring up Latino men. My Latino male friend was just telling me how he doesn't feel like black women find him attractive. Now, is he like Mexican? Because I'll tell you, the Mexicans love me. You know, it's just irking because they come to my kneecaps and they're just not attractive. And I'm just like,
Oh,
I
no.
saw this guy actually yesterday who kind of looks like George, like a younger George Lopez. Like, I love his complexion. He had good hair. He had on like riding boots, or not riding boots, cowboy boots, with his suit. Like, it looked really good. And I found myself like kind of staring at him, you know, like trying not to let him know that I was staring at him as he was like walking across. I was like, man, he's really attractive. You know, his suit was nice and tailored, but he was short. So, but yeah, that's Mexicans. Like, I live in the Northeast, so in the Mid-Atlantic area, so there's Dominicans and Puerto Ricans mostly here. You know, not like, I guess, in the South or out there, over there in the West, where there's like influx of Mexicans. So, you know, when I
yeah, this is basically Little Mexico.
like a sore thumb, you're like, oh yeah, he's Mexican because he's short most of the time, short. So I've dated a Puerto Rican guy who was, you know, 6'7", 6'6", so yeah, and you know, it was great because he like threw me around like a rag doll. So I don't get to feel that, so that's pretty awesome if I do.
What about PIWBM?
You're doing too much. What is that?
Pacific Islander white men.
Oh God.
Pacific Islander men.
Oh. Oh gosh.
Like The Rock.
So Diana says, I've dated Latino men, white men, and Asian men. Diana, we would love to hear about, just give us an overview, like 2 or 3 things that you really loved about, you know, Asian men and Latino men.
I've been an Asian man, a Puerto Rican, Mexican, and a whole bunch of white ones. A whole bunch of white ones.
Oh, Diana says, I lived in Mexico.
KKK.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, right?
Yes.
You're a nation guy.
And he was not in the KKK. He was a white pride or a white pride.
Diana says that she lived in Mexico, and they loved her there. That's dope. Yeah, we'd love to hear about your experience. Man, we may have to bring you on the show, just so you can speak to your experience living in Mexico. That'd be dope. Crazy says, I used to date Mexican I used to date Mexicans back in the day. They're very passionate men. Just Latinos. Like, that's why I said I used to run around like rag dolls. Like, it was great. Yeah. No.
She's like reminiscing in her head. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Before, you know, my transition or whatever to white guys, it was all Puerto Rican guys and Dominican guys I dated, so.
Well, and now you're done with white chocolate and you need some vanilla.
Done, son. I need me a nice vanilla who is self-aware. That's what I need. Done with the white chocolate.
Now you're coming over to my side. Now you're coming to my side.
Crazy in love, warm, done, son. Over it. So.
See, I've never been down with the white chocolate, but the vanilla, it's all about it.
I say I need a self-aware vanilla.
Yeah.
As long as he's self-aware. So, Zahara says, I dated 1 inch shorter than me once, and we lasted for a good while, but sad, no heels for me, and he was Persian. No, I don't care. Like, I wear my heels, and that's just that, and you deal with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm comfortable, you should be comfortable. If you're uncomfortable, then that means you're not the one for me, because you're a punk.
Yeah.
And Crazy, who has made her disdain for white chocolate very public, says, "Ew."
She knows what it's about.
I love my vanilla man. That's the way to go.
See, Danny is
vanilla.
Self-aware vanilla. He's a little bit more vanilla. He might be like French vanilla or something like that.
French vanilla. Vanilla bean.
Yeah, vanilla bean. There you go. I love it, Piper. There you go. That's
Yeah.
two.
Vanilla
I
bean.
thought we were going to come up with a different name than vanilla for me.
Because you are. You're a little bit above vanilla. Like
Super
we'll get
boring.
it.
Super
And we
boring.
can't call you butter pecan because that's Puerto Ricans. So
Yeah, that's Puerto Rican.
So we gotta figure something out. But I like vanilla bean because it's like your those little specks are
The brown specks.
self-awareness. That's what the little specks are. Oh gosh. So let's go to the comments. Well, Diana says Danny is vanilla. No, you gotta know Danny, man. Like
Danny's
who he is,
a
like,
small African nation dedicated to him. He is. Danny is all about Africa.
Oh God. Danny was our resident African expert.
With my people.
He even did the accents funny.
Yeah, I can do the accents. I did the accents earlier today for an
Did you?
audition. Yeah. What is this that you are telling to me? Why are you saying this right now?
Speak up, say it again.
Who is paying for this? Is it you that is going to pay for this? I'm certainly not going to pay for this. Ah!
Told y'all. Oh God, I can't. They're going nuts.
Vanilla bean in the house.
No. Okay, cookies. Okay, Zahara says cookies and cream. Here's the deal. When talking interracially, you cannot talk about cream. Because a lot of you women can say, I like a little cream in my coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you turn that around, I can't say I like to put my cream in my coffee. Doesn't work so well.
That's true.
It doesn't work so well.
That could be taken so many different ways. Yes.
So many ways.
Can I just be like maybe a milkshake or something? I don't know. I love milk.
My milkshake brings
Not unless it's bringing all the boys to the yard.
You don't want the boys in your yard, Danny.
Nope.
You don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want them near your yard.
Diana answered the question and she said, I love the language, the culture, they're family oriented. I want to learn an Asian language next. I only dated one Asian and he was Japanese.
I'm learning Korean. It's very easy.
Is it? Because Mandarin is hard as hell.
So give us some Korean, Piper.
Yeah.
The Hangul is
Ni
very
hao,
easy.
Thailand. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The Hangul is very easy. You start learning that, and then you'll be able to pronounce everything else, and you'll be able to read Korean once you learn the Hangul. And it's so easy because it's less letters than the American or English alphabet. So it's awesome. I'm learning it now. It's great.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not good with language. I can barely get English out.
I know. I've read what you write and when you text and
Oh gosh, yeah, English is just jacked.
I'll help you with your English.
I'm just gonna work on that.
Oh, Crazy in Love said, have a seat, Danny, because your accent. But your accent was on point, yo.
Yeah. I dug it. And you should know.
So you gotta check out J Hearts J, a great AMBW couple. Yeah, and Crazy.
They are adorable. I love them.
On the sidelines. So.
She had a very traditional, like old school Korean wedding. Very cool. You should watch it. Very cool. And then there's
Zahara says Filipinos have a thing for black women.
Yeah, they do.
My area,
but I don't have a thing for them.
Hodgepodge of, so you've got a pretty heavy Cambodian population, a pretty heavy, well, obviously, aside from Vietnamese and Korean, you know, you've got like I said, the pretty heavy Cambodian population and Laotian, and they tend to be darker.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you tend to see a lot more of the women with black men. A lot. And then you see the lighter Asian women with white men. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Like from King of the Hill.
You keep referencing shows that I've either never seen or haven't watched in 100 years, and King of the Hill is one of them. I have not watched that in 100 years.
Bobby Hill and what was the girl's name next door? They hooked up. They wound up together on that.
Connie.
Show. Yeah, Bobby Hill and Connie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But the darker Asians, like a lot of Filipinos, well, Filipinos that I know were like white people.
Okay, so when I visited the Philippines, I've been there a couple times, and the island I went to is called Negros Island, and
Negros Island. What?
It's legitimately the natives there have dark black skin with really short, kinky hair.
Yep.
And it's crazy. They're completely the natives that are there have no Spanish and American blood line running with them, or not Spanish and European, because that's how the Filipinos became the Filipinos. They're Asian, Spanish, and European bloodlines all running together.
And black.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the original inhabitants. The original inhabitants of the islands are black, but not African black.
As is the rest of the world, but we shall continue.
Pacific Asian black.
Damn, black people.
What's wrong with Filipinos? I had a crush on Filipino in junior high. That's what Diana said.
Wait, Piper,
I don't think there's anything wrong with Filipinos.
Why you got something
There's
wrong
nothing
with
wrong with
Filipinos?
Filipinos. I've never been attracted to a Filipino, and there have been several attracted to me, and they just never have struck chord with me, ever. But that doesn't mean not one that could possibly do it.
Because you didn't want your last name to be Piper Bong Bong?
No, that's like
I didn't know that those were their last names.
The Filipinos have the Spanish last names.
The Spanish. Oh yeah, you don't want to be married to Bong Bong Gutierrez?
No, I have never met a Filipino guy that I was attracted to. That doesn't mean that I couldn't, but I just never have. And there have been several that are attracted to me, but I just wasn't with it. They just didn't strike a chord with me. We didn't mesh well. But it's not because they were Filipino. It's just they so happened to be Filipino, and we also didn't mesh well. So that's what it is.
Speaking of who doesn't mesh well, what about Black China and Rob? Oh, killer transition.
That was a killer transition.
Well, that kind of sucks right now because we need to wrap up our little conversation here.
I'm trying.
So Crazy in Love. It says that's the African diaspora. And then Diana says, laughing my ass off, shaking my head at Danny.
Crazy in Love also said it's very common to see Asian women with white men here in Texas.
Oh, that's all over. I mean, that's not even just
here
Texas.
too.
Yeah, that's like all over. Those Asian women.
Orange County.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell when they're Asian. Oh, it's not hard to tell when they're Asian women in Orange County because they wear clothes from the top of their head to a big hat and then gloves and run through street signs.
Despair. I totally pronounced that word wrong. What? Alright, you want to go and...
Well, Crazy Love says, I love Black China and Rob K. And then Diana says...
And Danny's frozen.
I know. I was like, and then Danny went...
Danny said, and...
I love it when Danny freezes like that.
Legit frozen. I hope we don't, cut off or anything. So, Crazy in Love says, I love Black China and Rob K. And Zahara says, BET messed up and said, the first Black Kardashian. Wait, what, Zahara? Seriously, they said that? Tell us, verbatim what they said. That's a title I had.
The first Black Kardashian.
Yeah.
Well, technically, North isn't a Kardashian. And neither is Saint.
Well, that's why that's why they're considering Black China and Rob's first baby black.
The first black.
Which doesn't make any sense because
wouldn't be black.
It is black, so they all have biracial children. Yeah, Danny says he's working on the issue since he's frozen.
Yeah. At least he looks like he's singing.
I know. But yeah, Zahara, if you can work on that, just like maybe copy and paste the headline or whatever.
Danny's
and Diana says, I hope Rubella's last. What's that?
Is that the mesh black charm?
Oh, I can't with that meshing stuff. Oh God, it drives me nuts.
The Robina?
I can't. That sounds like a disease. I like my mind kind of processed it like rubella. Like that's what I'm like, rubella? People are actually calling this. I can't, like, I don't know. But
China.
Crazy says Black China's real name is Angela.
Yes, it is. It's Angela.
Yeah,
and Tokyo Tony is something else. Very different than Tokyo.
I know.
Because Tokyo Tony is Black China's mom. I guess they really like Asian things. So Black China, Tokyo Tony.
Okay, maybe in their mind they're Asian. I can dig it. So, apparently BET said they said finally a Black Kardashian mother.
Yo, this is so good.
What?
Okay, so my computer just turned off.
Well, at least it didn't unlink us, so that was a good thing.
No, I know, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was.
Remember last time when the power went out that one time and we lost the show for like a year and a half?
For like a year? Yeah, exactly.
Right, that's dope. I like that, Danny.
So apparently I'm D right now. I don't know how that happened.
I know. I saw that. I was like, that's not who you are.
So
silly.
Yeah, my computer literally just turned off, and I was like, oh no.
Our tech guy. Ugh.
I don't know what happened. That happens only when I'm doing the show.
Right.
It's the white man, or it's the Asian man getting mad at me. It's China hacking my computer. Don't talk about our women.
Don't talk about our love. Well, enough people are talking about that love. I'm like, the Kardashians, are y'all mad or not?
Yeah. And which they're being so silent, mysteriously silent.
Yeah. And
I did read something that said Khloe was upset with it.
Good for Khloe.
Why? Because you got a black woman in the family now?
No, because Black China's been able to do what Khloe wasn't able to do for years, which is get the recluse Rob out of
Wait, hold on, Piper, because you're like breaking up.
Now,
you're breaking up.
How about now?
All right, say it again. She's been unable to.
She's upset because China has been able to do what she hasn't been able to do, which is get Rob the recluse out of the house. So now Rob's out of the house, doing all this stuff, and it's all because of Black China, and Chloe feels like that his family was there for him and by his side, and so they weren't a strong enough incentive to bring him out of his depression and everything.
Oh. Well, Coochie has power, so.
I know. I was like, Bonnie has some power. Answer that.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Yeah, so I don't understand.
And you say that's control.
You're breaking up again, Pipe. Say that again.
I have no idea what you said.
I said Prince would say that is control.
Oh, yeah, out again. Prince said...
Out of control?
And she's frozen.
Put control.
Oh. What control?
Can you now?
Say it again.
You're not getting good connection from Venice.
Yeah. Go back to the depths of hell. She's frozen.
She's frozen.
Oh, gosh. So.
Sarah says, how do I link? You guys found the article. Just send it to our Facebook page. Go post it on our Facebook page.
You can post it
Can
under.
you hear me now?
Yeah.
You're back.
Kind of.
Okay. Can you hear me now? What the fuck?
Oh! Oh!
Did you see it?
How did that happen?
How'd you do that? Did you guys see that?
I did.
Did everyone see that?
Oh shit. Alright, so okay. Piper,
That's what Prince would say.
Dude, that must be an internal thing. Nobody else saw that. Huh. Okay. So Zahara says the headline, Blac Chyna's plans to become the first Black Kardashian say goodbye to Mrs. White. Diana says they're trying to deny that Angela was the reason why Rob started to come out more. Of course they are. Let's not give credit to the black woman, even though they do everything under the sun to try and look like us. They don't want the struggle. Crazy says I missed it. Yeah, I missed all that too.
No, she's saying she missed what Piper said. It was in the group chat.
Oh, well then it must just be a group thing.
Yeah.
Say it again, Piper. Hurry up.
I wanted you to say it.
You say it.
No, I just said Rob needed some pussy control.
Oh yeah. That's what Prince would call it.
Prince call it. Pussy control.
Power.
There's power behind them walls.
Yeah. It's real up in those streets. It is real up in those streets. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh,
okay,
yeah,
so what do you guys think about the controversy that maybe Blac Chyna and Rob, who honestly, until we started talking about this, I never heard of ever before because I don't pay attention to that at all. What do you guys think about the idea that people are saying that they were probably pregnant before they got engaged? And they kept
I
it kind
absolutely
of hush-hush?
believe it.
They
I
kept it
absolutely
hush-hush?
believe it because they already know the sex of the baby. So yes, they definitely were.
But apparently he was quoted as saying that he didn't want to have a baby out of wedlock.
Well, that's nice.
So he was like, "I'm marry this bitch."
But it's all, for me, I'm very pro-marriage, and I would have liked for her to already been married.
Right.
Because that would have just been way more, like, seriously, like, winning.
Right. Black girl winning. Hashtag it.
Yes.
Like, seriously.
I'm already married.
But part of the
whole situation, very, contrived. She was very strategic.
Right.
With all of this. And I think it would have been an even bigger punch to the haters' guts if she were married. If they'd like gone off and like secretly gotten married first, and then so.
But I think it gives an easy. Unfortunately, it gives an easy out. You know, it gives an easy out when they need ratings boosting or whatever, because that's what the Kardashians really are. I don't believe any of the relationships they're in. I think they're all fabricated for TV and for viewers and for people to be paying attention to. Every single one of them, including Bruce.
Absolutely.
But it's I honestly, like, what sucks about this is they're gonna so easily be able to, if this marriage doesn't work out, throw Blac Chyna under the bus as this horrible, awful, evil person, which she could in full be. I don't know. I don't really know her. But I know that she's part of the Kardashians, so I kind of already automatically hate her just by her association with the Kardashians.
Right.
Well, she's part of Tyga.
But I'm standing up for the black woman because I love black women, and so when I think that's just hard. If things don't work out, they have an easy out. Well, she trapped him into marriage. you know, she trapped him into marrying her, and that's how it all happened. And then it's an easy, well, she trapped you with a marriage so you can get out easy because you were pregnant and she knew you were a good guy, and now it's easy to get out, which probably wouldn't happen if it was a white woman that he was marrying or a white woman that he had impregnated. It wouldn't be so easy because it's easy to play that narrative of, oh, black women are loose and promiscuous and they can, you know, that's what they're presenting.
No matter how trashy the Kardashians are, Black China is going to be seen as trashier just because she's a black woman.
Right.
And, oh, she trapped this man, you know, she was strategic and, you know, oh, I saw how much of a gold digger she was.
Gold digger?
Like, nasty,
who is this family?
nasty comments. Like, seriously? She was
okay.
already in the circle. She was already, you know.
Can somebody help me out? Somebody
so
help
what?
me out.
Women dig gold. That's what they do. Doesn't matter.
No.
White women have been doing it for centuries.
And the Kardashians specifically have been doing it. That's what they're known for. Like, why do we forget that the Kardashians are known for Kim's sex tape?
I know. They're famous for being on their back.
So, but can somebody fill me in on who Blac Chyna is? Did she have a career before?
I never knew her either till all of this, and then I thought she was a video hoe or something.
I know she hung out with Amber Rose.
Pipes,
she is
Tyga's
baby's mom.
She's a rapper. She's a baby's mama to some crazy rapper who I also never heard. If the man spit in my face, I wouldn't know who he was. I don't know what he sings, like nothing. So,
Piper, you gotta take off the background. That's hindering you.
He sings a song about Molly.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
No, Molly the drug.
So Crazy in Love says Blac Chyna was a booty model. Kim was still married to Chris Humphries when she was pregnant with Northwest. Yeah, but Chris Humphries, that wasn't a real marriage.
They weren't they married for like 72 days?
Yeah, and it was all a big spectacle show, and he sucked as a basketball player, and then they went, oh, wait, we can do better with Kanye. Let's work on that. Kanye's interested. Let's go to that. That's why I don't believe any of this. I don't believe any of this storyline. It's all stories that they present. None of it's real. None of it's their real life. It's all for the show, because that's the culture we live in now.
I'm in agreement with you.
So there's no such thing as trapping a man if he nuts in her. Guess what? That's true. That's what Crazy in Love said.
That's the risk one takes. So
I hear you, Danny, and I understand your point. But Blac Chyna had been around. Like I said, I'm not familiar with Blac Chyna. I'm not familiar with the Kardashians whatsoever. I have absolutely no desire to get involved in that world. I'm trying to stick up for the black woman, and I'm just saying what I feel like the negative effect is going to turn into is going to be another rip on black women when this thing goes south, which it probably will because it has to go south because ratings go south.
Yeah, but is he even? I don't even know that he's on that show or whatever. I just know that he had gotten fat, and the only reason why I know anything about him is because my girl Adrienne Bailon from The Real used to date him. I don't know if she dumped him. I don't know what happened, but I know she's mentioned it on the show. And now she's with some old fat guy. I guess she likes some old and fat. I don't know, but I also heard through a friend that she has Kardashian on her back. I guess her lower back, her tramp stamp too.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So Crazy told me that. So Crazy also says that she poses. Piper, come back.
I know we lost her.
Poses for magazines like King and Smooth, which are black male magazines. Okay. And then Diana said she was a stripper that turned urban model that created a makeup line and a clothing line. Well, that's awesome. She's an entrepreneur.
So she has some talent before.
Yeah, like makeup. That's awesome.
Adrienne is with Israel Houghton. D, you know who Israel Houghton is?
I don't know, but
I sent you his song.
Adrian is with. I don't. I'm just saying. I know she was with him, and now she's with an old fat guy. So
no, she's with Israel. She's with Israel Houghton. But do you know who that is? That's that guy I sent you that song a couple months ago. Not going back, moving ahead. That guy.
Sings?
Yeah.
No.
Here to declare to you, my past is over and you.
Oh, wow.
Surrender my life to Christ. I'm moving forward.
Yes, he is.
And it's on her ass, not a tramp stamp.
Yeah.
Which is worse.
Okay, so she did it.
Yeah, it's
trying to find the
Piper coming back.
I hope so.
Woman down.
She didn't send us a message letting us know. Maybe she's just
probably trying to get in.
But yeah, that picture I saw, he is, and this is the guy. I think he was married or something like that, and then he cheated on her, and then they got divorced, and then he got with Adrian.
Maybe we're thinking of someone else.
Ah, I see the link.
There you go.
BET blacks embarrassing themselves is the worst. Well, that wait, show it again, Danny.
There you go. That's Israel Houghton.
Wait, hold on, hang on.
I think he's a Pacific Islander.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, possibly. It's a very blurry shot. Sorry, my camera.
No, it focused. Well, honey, you must not have seen that picture that was floating around when they were on the beach. And Adrian's my girl. I love Adrian. So, she picked up that love weight, and that's fine.
Oh, yeah, he looks big
with that hanging over, I was like, no, ma'am.
Yeah, he looks big here, too. Like, I can understand what he's saying.
He's tall and fat. The way he looks it. He has nice teeth.
He's got nice teeth.
Yeah, but she always likes older men.
He's got a great voice, too.
You have to send me another song. But I say once
do you remember that one?
Cheater, so that's just my stance on that.
You remember that song?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna listen to it tonight. I'm gonna listen to it tonight.
It's very uplifting.
Yeah. He's on the big side. You have to see them on the beach pic. That's what Diane is saying, and that's what you're saying too. Oh no.
He's on the big side. You have to see him on the. That's the one that I saw, and he's fat. So I mean, it is what it is. Like what? Like okay.
I mean,
like it is what it is. Like he just is. Yeah. So I didn't know who the man was. Whatever. Like you sent me the song. I thought the song was great, but I never looked into it like anymore.
Right.
So.
Right.
I don't know. Adrian, she likes men. Yeah, and Veronique says he's younger than me because I know your age, Veronique. I don't know. I don't know. But we'll agree to disagree. That's fine. That happened. We don't know what happened to Piper.
Yeah.
She's not sent us a text message yet.
I'm about to send one out.
Okay. Cool. So. Veronique said no. What? Go look at the picture that I saw. That's the one that she even brought up on the reel. And it was not a good one.
You know what's not a good picture?
What?
Bruce Jenner with the new Sports Illustrated photo.
Oh gosh, more Kardashian foolishness.
Well, I mean, you made a really good point that I kind of want you to make again.
All of them are just foolish. All of them. And, black women are like kowtowing for him or this whole trans movement thing. And it's like, why? Like, black women focus on the wrong things. Regardless, because he does not have a vagina, he is still a man. He has his man parts. He's just living as a woman. He's doing what he does best.
Vagina would be still his penis cut into a vagina.
What's that?
Even if he did have a vagina, it would still be his penis cut into a vagina.
But like my point is, he's a white male millionaire, so economically, politically, he's at the top of the heap, and black women are at the bottom of the stratus, the strata, and like they're always like.
So how come they're fighting his battle for him?
Right? Yeah. Like I couldn't care less. Like, so what? He wants to go pose on whatever. I say he has his privilege because he gets to kind of teeter the line and play all sides. So when you want to be Bruce, you want to be remembered as Bruce Jenner. So you want to
he wants to be the Olympian
not
with
even
the
naked.
medals.
You want to pose naked.
Yeah.
And have all your medals as Bruce, but Bruce Jenner won all those medals, not
right.
Caitlyn Jenner. But that's white male.
Caitlyn Jenner is a hero, and she's
privilege.
A beautiful woman.
Ew.
Caitlyn Jenner is a hero, and she's a beautiful woman. I have to say that, or I'll get thrown in PC jail. And I don't want to go to PC jail. They don't have tea.
I'm good. So that's my thoughts on that. But
yeah,
that just goes on to. Yeah, Diana says we're a double minority. Veronique says he's too old for that. He might not make it through the surgery.
Bruce Jenner.
I don't know. I've seen octogenarians go through like hip surgery and stuff. Oh, Khadijah White. Hi, Khadijah. This is a new name. Welcome.
What's up, Khadijah?
And she says, I feel the same way about Caitlyn. I'm over it. Oh my gosh, Piper. Did you die?
Did she? Oh, there she is.
Okay. Yay, welcome back.
Yeah.
See, it was your background cutting you up.
No, it wasn't. I had to restart everything.
Now you sound perfecto. You look amazing.
Yeah,
and you know what? I can't hear you very well.
Too.
No?
I can't very well.
Oh, crap.
I can hear you.
I'm at like 100, like my speakers are at like 100%, so I don't know.
Everybody's paused now.
We're good. Danny, wave.
I feel like I'm in the 80s family video where they shoot the camera over and everybody just goes, hey, 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 I'm here, I'm waving. That's what we do in 80s camcord videos. Hey.
I hate it when things don't work out.
And look at you, did it again. That is the digital packaging that breaks up. That is what that means. All those little checkerboard things.
It didn't last week.
Yeah, because we had a million other problems.
Last week.
I know, right?
You were screwed overall. So we left off. We kind of just, talked about Bruce, Caitlyn shenanigans. Do you have any contributing thoughts? If not, we can just, kind of move on. And I said I don't understand why black women are like, well, as Danny put it, just kind of like taking up for him, having his back, wasting our time. So what are your thoughts on it?
I agree totally. We cannot fight for his rights until we have some rights of our own.
And how do we get rights of our own?
We have to fight for ours, and we have to start taking control of our lives and our own happiness.
That's all we have.
That's it.
We do not have white male millionaires standing up for us. Trans millionaires and the Kardashians who want to look like us without all of that accompanying it. Oh, did you guys see the latest today?
They want to look like us but not be us.
Yeah. Not have the oppression. Not have any issues that come along with being a black woman. Did you guys see today?
Stay Armenian.
Did you guys see today or at some point this week or whatever, on social media how I think it was a New York Post article where they had a picture of Katy Perry on one side and Ronda Rousey, I think that was, and they had cornrows. They just had like two braids.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, apparently, they have like two braids, and it's UFC inspiring this new hairstyle.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, I swear to being, I saw this shenanigans.
But that's true though. Didn't you guys see? Like, it was just a couple of days ago, like 5 days ago. I saw all these white girls walking around with sombreros, and they were starting like Cinco de Mayo inspired sombrero wearing.
All right, I'm gonna show you.
What?
Wait, let me see. Can you guys see that?
Yeah,
Yep.
so they need to be slapped, both of them. That's just like Kylie Jenner saying she's the reason why everybody wears wigs now.
I can't. UFC is inspiring the hottest new hair trend. Oh, I was like, solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How come when I was in like first grade it wasn't UFC inspired at all? That was my look for first grade.
This is awful. This is awful.
Yeah, they call it I'm sorry. Twisted into trendy parallel plaits. They're trendy. And they're parallel.
Crazy in Love says, this has been a story for a minute. They've coined them boxer braids. Whatever.
What the fuck? Yeah. That's exactly what they are.
I can't.
They can kiss my ass. My entire ass. This is so annoying.
Boxer
I
braids
just can't.
are parallel plaits. What the
So
freak
when
is
Brandy
a
was wearing
parallel
them?
plait? I can't.
So Brandy did that for a whole several years, and it called that when she did it. So
I can't.
that's crazy.
Is
But
it
yeah.
her grandfather black? I don't know who we're talking about.
Whose grandfather?
Is it? I think it's Ronda Rousey she's talking about. I think I've heard that. But who cares? We know what
I
I'm
don't
talking
give a
about.
fuck. That does not mean that she coined the phrase plats or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Crazy says this is why I don't fool with too many white women, just a select few. I am with you because let me tell you something, and you already know, like I don't give a shit.
You already know.
They are the
You know, love lost.
racist fuckers. I think they're worse than white men, to be quite honest with you. They birthed the racist. That's what I read today, and I was like, hallelujah, that's the truth. Privileged. Freaking racist women. They're sneaky, backstabbers. Any beef that I've had has been with a white woman, not a white man.
So obviously, white women aren't going to come to help people, help you ladies come to a place of fighting the stereotypes and fighting it. I'm just trying to transition.
I see where you're going with this, Danny.
Just trying to transition this back.
Keep going. You're doing it. Get in there.
So we have our list, right?
And where
Right.
does this come from? And this list is how to live your best life, basically, right?
Right. It's
Right.
it's the title of the article is 70 things black women need to do now to live the life they want. And we're not going to go through all 70 because that would be a long time.
A lot of bullshit.
But it's a really good list. I actually agree with every single one of them, and I don't think that even all of the points are. There's a few that are specific to black women, but they're applicable to all, and it's about living a better life and living the best version of you, and how to go about that, and how to walk that out. And so we'll link the article in the box below. Comment down below. Because that's what you're supposed to say when you're on YouTube. And hey guys, you're also supposed to do that when you start everything out. You're supposed to be like, hey guys,
Hey, guys.
so, hey guys, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to tell your friends about it. That's what you're supposed to do when you're YouTube.
Yes.
I went to a meeting where they taught me that. So we picked each of us went through the list and picked a few that we wanted to talk about and bring up discussion with. So Piper, do you want to start?
Only if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Okay, great. That sounds wonderful. I'll start. All right. My first one that I picked off the list was to let go of toxic relationships, even if it's with family. And that one, to me, signifies a lot. Specifically because I am a very big hold on to relationships and very loyal no matter what costs. And so for me, it's been a hard lesson to learn to get rid of these toxic people in my life so that I can live a better life, even if it's me holding on to the toxic relationship or the toxic relationship being sort of a parasitic relationship and kind of leeching on to me. I have learned to let certain people go in order to live a better life and to be positive and keep and retain some of your strength, because people can suck energy from you just by being in your world. And it's not necessarily them all the time, and it's not necessarily you. It could be a combination. Like I said, I'm very loyal. And so I believe you hold on tooth and nail to relationships even when the person is not necessarily doing right by you. And so it has been a lesson to me to let go of these unhealthy, toxic relationships, even when that means sometimes letting go of family or people that you saw as family in order to be able to progress in life and move forward.
But Piper, that also ties into your second one. Because
yes.
when you're letting go, you're putting with them.
Yes, exactly. Because the second one, I guess I'll say it since we already just said it, but my second one is being nice doesn't mean you should be treated like trash, and you deserve respect. And that's part of when you hold on to these toxic people, you're being so nice while they just walk all over you. And it's a combination of both. It's you allowing people to walk all over you, and it's people taking advantage of a good heart, and they see a nice person as a character flaw. And so they try to, they'll take from you every ounce of everything you have in order to, I guess, just make themselves feel better, even if it's at the detriment of you. And so you have to let go of these people in order to truly regain control of your life and be treated with respect. And every person deserves respect, and especially in the BWWM community, or even just black women dating outside of their race and just being stronger women. I think a lot of black women get a very bad rep of being confrontational and ghetto and all these other negative things. So I think a lot of black women actually overcompensate by being super nice, trying really hard to defy that stereotypes to the point that they end up being hurt relentlessly by people because they're constantly, being so overly nice to prove I'm not this stereotype, and they're not getting the respect that they deserve because they're going and they're stepping outside of basically what they deserve, the respect that they deserve. They're stepping outside of it and accepting just about anything in order to have something. So those are mine.
I think.
And we'll go to D or Danny.
I think that goes with one of the points that kind of jumped out for me, which is don't settle for mediocrity.
Wait, say it again, Danny?
Don't settle for mediocrity. And I think, unfortunately, I think a lot of women do. I think a lot of women, because they're told by society, or they're told by their families, or they're told by, or they tell themselves that they don't deserve the very best, so they settle for something that's mediocre, and they settle for something that's not what they deserve. and even I mean, kind of going with what Piper was saying about the, you said at some point you said something about the strength of a black woman. Honestly, it makes me, it really frustrates me. It seriously frustrates me when I see someone that has to be stronger than they should be, right? Like they have to have this strength that they shouldn't have to carry on their own. It really, like both of you, I know both of you are incredibly strong women, and sometimes, like, because we're all friends on a personal level, when you guys have to be strong in an area where you shouldn't, that shouldn't be your responsibility, it really frustrates me, and it hurts me for you when you're in that place. And I don't know where that comes from, and I don't know how that comes about, but I applaud you for it, and at the same time, I get really frustrated with it. I just wanted to say that to what Piper was saying. I hadn't completely formulated the thought, though. But the idea of being mediocre and living this life that's mediocre and has no opportunity, there's so many women. I wouldn't say they're women that are tuning in right now or even in this place, but we have lots of friends that are living this life of mediocrity that have no desire for better. They have this system of how life has taught them it works, it's supposed to work, and then they fall in line with that rather than striving to be more or to accomplish more or to gain more for their family and their future.
But it also comes to they don't know any better. Perhaps
Right.
They don't know any better.
Right, and they don't have the right relationships, they don't have the right people, they don't have the right place.
And this
maybe
right.
It's passed down through generations.
For me, exactly. So, for me, not to any of the points on the list, but overall, when you talk about this, I think that in order for us to live our best lives, it starts with us internally. We have to be, emotionally well and mentally well, and then in turn surround yourself. You don't become emotionally or mentally well if you're surrounded by negativity and chaos and emotional vultures. And not everyone is going to live their best life. Not everyone is going to swirl. Not everyone is, there are a lot of people, and I'm speaking just to black women because I can't speak to anyone else. Still live in Blackistan. And when you're there in Blackistan, but you know that there's something better and greater out here, and you're fighting to get out, that means, Piper, back to your point, cutting people off.
Right.
Yeah.
That means, Danny, to your point, not settling, for being mediocre. And then, so not only are you ramping up emotionally and mentally, you're beginning to do things physically, too. So, Danny, you want to talk about your next point?
Oh, yeah. That's remembering that you're more powerful than you think. And then what you're saying is exactly it. Like you build up in your mental capacity, your mental space, that you do deserve better, that you do deserve more. And I'm not a big believer in like the idea of like the universe out there, but I do know this, that when you put out this this effort, I would say, I wouldn't even say a positive energy necessarily, but you put out a positive effort, then eventually, and you keep putting that out, you're going to bring back that. You attract what you put out that you want, right?
Right.
Now you attract a bunch of slime balls and a bunch of scumbags as well, but if you're let's just say you're looking for someone and you're on a dating site and you're putting out this very basic profile, like basic, mediocre, this is kind of who I am, blah, 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 right? This is just the way it is. But you're not putting out, like, who you really are, what's really inside of you, which is that power that's inside of you, right? And a lot of people don't recognize that power that's inside of them. They don't recognize that because they think, well, this is what's coming at me, so I guess I'll just adapt to what's coming at me, rather than realizing how powerful I am and the ability that I have as a person, the ability that I have with a mind to be able to better myself and to
so you don't
excel
even
beyond where I'm at.
Right.
Exactly. And then to what Diana said in the comments, she said they settle for the best of the worst when we were talking about mediocre, right? They settle for the best of the worst. You don't settle for the best of the worst when you understand the power that's in you and you're living up to that power. You don't settle for the best of the worst. The best of the worst is the worst. And you move beyond that.
Agreed.
I agree totally.
So remember, you're more powerful than you think.
And Dee, what are I guess yours can go hand in hand with all of that too.
Yeah, and again with cutting off people, that's pretty similar to letting go. So one of mine was guard your mind, your spirit, and your body. I think growing up, it was, little boys are bad. Stay away from the little boys, and then you grow up to being adults, men ain't shit. But meanwhile, it's like you can't live with them, you can't live without them, so you're taking the best of the worst, or what you feel is the best of the worst. Mentally and emotionally, you're not guarding your mind, you're not guarding your spirit, and it wasn't until I got until my 30s where I finally realized what that meant on a whole level. Guarding, obviously, the body is, physical thing. Letting you into my space. I mean, I'm a true believer. I didn't understand how, for me, women just, let men like nut up in them. Like, let's just be real here. Like, just all different men just like nut up in them, and it's just like they're leaving some of their essence with you. And so if they're, angry man, you're going to get that in you. If they're hustle man, you're going to get that in you. And it's just bouncing all around. So you need to guard who it is that you become intimate with, even emotionally, who you're letting in, who you're giving yourself to, on so many levels. Spiritually, I'm not an advocate for the black church. I'm just not. I'm not an advocate for that because I don't think it benefits black women. So, and Crazy in Love says, right, these women and girls need to guard their wounds. And, I wasn't a victim. In a sense, I was a victim of Blackistan growing up in that, but I always knew that there was something else. But it was like, okay, how do I get out? Why was I afraid to get out? And as I got older is when it kind of like came to a head. And I was like, no, this isn't right. This ain't, no. And I dare have my daughter ever be a part of this. She won't know anything. And, it's working now because I'm seeing her and she tells me about, this little boy who thought that he was going to impress her with his hoverboard and, and throwing a football around with his little homies or whatever, like that he was going to impress her as well as her friend. And they're both 10 and 11. Well, no, they're both 10. And she's like unimpressed. And she's like, Mommy, like his English was terrible. His pants were sagging, and then he starts like rapping, and she was like, I just looked at him like, what is that? She's unimpressed.
She wasn't selling for a hood bigot.
She was not here for it.
Well, but you've done a great job because you've raised a great daughter, and I remember when I saw her, and this kid was picking on her, and she like told him, she's like, I'm gonna punch you if you don't stop it. And he just kept messing with her, kept putting his hands in her face, and she's like, if you don't knock it off, I'm gonna punch you in the nose. And sure enough, like he was like, no, you're not. And he put his hand all up in her face, and she punched him right in the nose. And that kid like, what?
She's guarding herself. We have to protect herself.
And it was so funny because you weren't with us at the time, and you empowered her in that moment because what she said, Mom, I said, yeah, Shayla punched a kid. And she was like, Mom, I kept telling him, if you keep messing with me, I'm going to punch you. And he kept messing with me. And you said, did you punch him? And she said, yeah. And you said, did you punch him hard? And she said, yeah. And she goes, did he stop? And she goes, yeah. And he's like, good girl.
Like, it's guarding your body, guarding your space. And it starts when kids are that age.
Right, and that goes to the point that Diana said Blackistain puts fear and shame and guilt into black women when they're young and impressionable. It's their best way of molding their minds.
Yeah.
Oh, Duck and Kim says, I don't know what's going on. Thanks for joining, Duck and Kim.
I know. Thanks for being a part of it.
So just guarding your mind, your spirit, and your body is important.
But you were making a point that it starts when you're young.
It does. It starts when you're young. And, you know, the little boys are just not respectful. Oh, and Piper, you'll appreciate this because Shayla says, you know, she was totally unimpressed with him or whatever. And she was like, you know, I like the boys at my school, like Matt and Adam. And, right. And it wasn't even coming from a place of, ooh, I like them, you know. Yeah. Like, it was because she can relate to them more. Yes, exactly. They speak English, for number one. You know,
they're talking to her in words she can understand.
Right. Can you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Kind of thing, you know? So it rang a bell for me. And, you know, I shared this, you know, with Danny, and it was like, damn, you know, I beat myself up a lot. And this goes into my next point.
Right.
You know, with choices that I've made. You know, I'm not a victim. So choices that I've made that weren't great, and that landed me in a position where, you know, I'm raising her alone. But when I think of it from one point of view or one level, because there's different layers to this. So when I look at it from one level, it's like, damn, you know what? She's better off because, you know, daddy's Blackistan. You know, and so I didn't want to have to raise her fighting with him constantly about how I choose to raise her and keep her away from things. But then, of course, there's the daddy issues piece. So that's the piece that I struggle with when I'm beating myself up and I'm like, I did this, you know I shouldn't have done this. I should have guarded my womb. I should have, you know, made better choices. I'm
right there with you on that one.
Right. And, you know, God damn it, like, I'm always beating myself up, you know, and I just feel like I'm fucked up. To be quite honest with you guys, I'm just being real here. So that's another point on the list where stop being hard on yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. Forgive yourself and learn from them. And the reason why I'm getting emotional. Excuse me a minute, guys.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's totally acceptable. I understand where you're coming from completely, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other women can understand where you're coming from.
And then it's like, okay, I made that decision. She was, you know, obviously the greatest outcome of that decision. And here I am doing this. And then, you know, years later, things are great in life, you know, it's just me and her, and, you know, I'm dating, but nothing serious, and I finally get into a very serious relationship where it was, you know, all glitter and gold, and then that falls apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't real on the other person's side, and it was like, you know, I did everything I could to get you, and then I was like, oh, I don't think I want this. So again, it's like I turn around and I'm like, really?
Right.
You feel like a failure. You feel like you constantly are letting down the one person you don't want to let down. And then you let yourself down because you think, why couldn't I see this coming beforehand?
Right.
And that has a lot to do with being hard on yourself, because I'm equally just as hard on myself and constantly beat myself up and literally put myself in a place where I'm just isolated because of how upset I am with decisions I've made and choices I've made that didn't pan out, and I probably beat myself up more than anyone else could ever beat me up for those decisions.
And that's something that, you know, we still struggle with. And I'm so much better now, obviously, but it's still difficult.
Right.
I'm just really grateful for my twin brother, who is that constant male figure. Positive, male figure in her life and who lets her know, he loves her and he's here for her. So that's just the one point.
Well, I
Stop
mean,
being
yeah,
hard on yourself.
and part of that, not being hard on yourself, and then the end part of it is forgive yourself, but also learn from them. Because if you don't learn from that, then if we don't learn from our mistakes and we keep repeating them, we're gonna keep going
Yes,
around
and
that mountain, going around that, and so I mean, honestly, like I've been my personal relationships the last couple of weeks. I've been talking with a lot of friends that are going through breakups and going through hardships and going through hard times, and a lot of them. You guys know that I'm a person of faith. I'm a person who believes in God, and my relationship with God is important. And a lot of my friends are people that would go to church and would say that they're doing what they're supposed to do, right? What the good book says that they're supposed to do. And they're like, well, why doesn't this happen the way it's supposed to happen, right? And the part that we have to, remember is that it's not just us involved in this world. The shitty part of this world is that everyone's life affects everyone's life, and everyone's decisions has a cause and effect on every other person.
Right.
And so when you're with a person, it's so easy in a relationship, in a breakup, and when not even just in a breakup, when something doesn't work out right, like even if a career path or an education track, right, where it doesn't work out the way you were wanting it to work out, doesn't mean that you didn't do what you were supposed to do. It means that other people were involved in the process, and that hindered it, and that stopped it. And it's not simply a mistake that you made, but you recognize your involvement and your ownership in it, and then you learn from that, and you carry forward with a renewed understanding of who you are and how to protect yourself in the future from falling into something where you can be hurt or where someone else can be hurt. But then you run into the serious risk of then not trusting people and putting that guard up where you don't feel like you can let yourself out and let yourself go. So there's a balance, there's a delicate balance in all of this. But you have to understand that in these type of things, Dee, with your situation, we've talked hours about this. It wasn't you. It wasn't simply you. And you've recognized and you've taken claim to the ownership that you had in that, and you've moved forward from that. He hasn't, and he hasn't moved forward from that. And that's the thing that you can in the short term is really difficult, because that person looks like their life is going great and they're living the life that you guys had dreamed about living together. But in the long run, you are going to be happier because you are going to be a deeper, stronger, further along person than that person is, because you've recognized your ownership and you've taken it and you've learned from it and you've moved forward with it.
You're right.
So
thanks, guys.
The long haul, you're going to be the better person from it.
Yeah.
I was the better person coming in.
Right.
At least true. You're sure of that. No, I agree with with what everybody was saying, though, about how black women in general have to be really, 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 really strong. And I think that comes into what you're saying about, taking on, being so hard on yourself when something doesn't work out, and you try something, especially when you have kids and you're a mother and you're trying something for your family and you're trying to get what you're supposed to have gotten before, and maybe you stumbled and one relationship didn't work out and you get into another one, and when you think everything is great and it doesn't pan out, and it's like it just makes you want to give up, but then you have to keep it moving because you have to be so strong. And I think that a lot of times, though, and this is coming from like YouTube and just like things in general, like with all the people, and specifically a lot of black men, and I'm not saying anything, there's nothing wrong with black men, not every black man does this, so please don't take it that way, but there are a lot of black men and a lot of people in general who say some pretty hurtful things to black women. And then they wonder why black women are not necessarily trying to deal with them because of how vicious they can be and how some of these things that they say can be so harmful and hurtful. And like on my videos and stuff, you know, I have so many guys who are like, oh, you know, you are a bed wench and you're this and you're that and you're the white man's whore and you're this and you're that. And they put so many labels and so much stuff on black women in general that it's, you have no other choice but to be so strong and play out your life to a narrative that other people have written for you without noticing that you've fallen into, you know, this script that they wrote for you and not living a life that is uniquely yours and best life that you can be living.
Yep.
And it's kind of why on my list I put, you know, date who you want, because so many people have so many, like a lot of, there's, I mean, the true thing is that black women for a long time have this, you know, unfortunate, I guess, label of not ever marrying. You know, more black women don't ever marry because they're all waiting for, you know, their ideal black man who doesn't always exist, or, you know, and they're always kind of looking for that because they've been shamed and shut into a corner and basically said that this is all you're allowed to want and nothing more. So you get this or nothing. And so a lot of black women totally ascribe to that way of thinking, that that's all they get, and so they live these lives where that's what they expect, and they'll accept just about anything in order to have someone.
Black love.
Yeah. And they don't. Yeah, any love is better than no love at all. So they'll just accept, you know, the hood figure or whatever, and not want better for themselves. And I think that plays a big part in why black women are always trying to be so strong. Is because they're told so often that they're not good enough.
Right.
And so they end up settling just their whole life in who they date and what they do and what they expect of themselves and everything. And I know I get tons of crap because I've never dated a black man. No black man dates me. I don't know. And everybody's like, that's just impossible. I'm like, well, be me and you'll discover how possible it is. You know, like it's a horrible thing. And I think that people have to get really a lot better at not listening to what other people say about their life and live a life that works for them and not care what the world thinks about them. No matter if you find happiness with a white man, an Asian man, Hispanic man, any other person, as long as you're happy, that's all that needs to matter.
Right.
And as long as you're not hurting anybody else, you know, you can't just be happy and be like murdering people. But, you know, like you have to be happy and totally do what makes you happy. And a lot of black women don't because they're so worried about what the black community thinks of them and their decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll let anything and everyone stop them from living their best life because they're so worried what it looks like to other people.
And black patriarchy.
Yeah.
That's where it starts, you know. You want to yell white supremacy, but, I mean, not to go back to pop culture, but just really quickly, if we could just touch on Lil' Kim. I'm sure you guys, well, first I want to say thank you. Oh, that was like, I didn't expect that I was just going to break down that way. And
sometimes everybody's got a breaking point.
You know, especially on the show. So just thank you guys for your hugs and your support. I appreciate that. But to Piper's point, you know, well, there's a few factors. You know, women who are always crying black love or what have you, the numbers don't lie. If you pair it up, every black woman with every black man, there would still be a ton of us left.
A lot of black women. A lot of black women left.
Left to do what? So I feel like I'm noticing, I don't know if it's just because we're, social media is so prevalent nowadays, where the young black women are opening up their minds and, they are loving themselves a lot more. And I feel like a lot of it has to do when you separate yourself from hip hop culture. That is when you're able to say, you know what, no, I'm not going to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that hip hop culture, disrespect and misogyny and just this player attitude.
Yeah.
And my other point went out the window. It was a really good one, so I'll come back to it once I remember it. But Duck and Kim says,
you were talking about Little Kim.
Yes. Duck and Kim, but yeah, hold that point. Don't let me forget it. Thank you. This is why we all mesh, because we alter and we pick up where the other does. So I didn't care what color they were. I'm the same way. Unfortunately, I've never dated a black man because I met my husband at 19, and the black guys I liked only dated white chicks.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been there, done that.
Oh, the irony. Let's see. Death to the ideal. That's crazy. Death to the IBM, which is the ideal black man.
Yeah.
Nothing but a black man mentality. I want black women to win. I want us to know that we can lead happy and fulfilled lives without struggling. Why is struggle always attached to the black woman? Like,
right?
Why? And if we do not become our best selves and live our best lives, we will continue to struggle. We will continue to live in Blackistan, whether it be physically and or emotionally or mentally. So,
absolutely.
Back to your point about not giving a fuck about who cares about who you date.
I mean, I've had to adopt that personality trait just because people have always found a reason to hate on who I'm with, and it's annoying and aggravating because it's a lot of hate that comes my way, and I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to be happy, and I can't be happy in the way you want me to be happy because while I'm miserable and you're forcing me to be miserable, I'm the only one losing in that because you're happy and off in your life while I'm miserable. So I got to do me. And if that means I never, ever am with a black man, I haven't been with one in 30-some-odd years, so why start now? So I'm great. It's been working for me. Doesn't mean black men are bad. I don't think they are, but I have never been with one. So
and that's
with cookie crumbles.
And, it also has a lot to do with your environment and how,
Sure.
Yeah, so it just is what it is. But what I wanted to speak to with regard to, I know everyone's seen, the pictures of Lil' Kim and how light she's become. I love Lil' Kim. I've always loved Lil' Kim. But the comments were disgusting, and I found that it was so many black women who were just dragging her through the mud. I don't know why she would do that to herself. There was a guy who posted, a black man, Hotep nigga, yeah, I said it, on my page, who posted it and was like, oh, the white supremacy did this to her, whatever, and I, responded,
my gosh.
Yeah, and I responded, no, this was not, Chad. This was Tyrone that did this.
Yeah, right. I was like, no, Tyrone and them
now,
doing
what
this
you mean is what he said to me. What you mean? And I'm like, really? Like, it was Tyrone, Ray Ray, and Pookie and them who told Lil' Kim it wasn't good enough.
And Biggie's mom too, right? Didn't Biggie's mom do it all too? Oh no, that was.
I'm like, this was Ray Ray, Pookie, and Tyrone and them who told her that she wasn't good enough. She was in Brooklyn or Bed-Stuy, wherever she's from, longer than she's been in Hollywood. So the damage was already done. So this white supremacy, and then he says, well, where do you think this comes from? It comes from white supremacy. Us thinking like this, and us bashing them, where do you think this comes from? Oh, I can't with the lack of accountability.
Right? I am so
in the black community. And
always wanting to blame it on the white man. I'm like, please stop.
Man, listen. Listen, I was so beside myself when he said that. Well, where do you think it comes from? Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't care where it comes from. We're talking about where we are right now. And Lil' Kim is the product of self-hate because Tyrone and Ray Ray and them told her that she wasn't good enough. And she got into Hollywood, and if you can see over the decades, she just messed with herself more and more and more. But what angers me with her is the, level, the social level that you were in or you had access to. Why didn't you pick better men?
Right.
Why didn't you go to those who loved you, or stay with them and not just hook up or whatever? Why didn't you maintain something? Because she was already too, fucked up, and she probably had this sense of obligation, which led her to black skin.
Yeah, which gets a lot of black women too. That obligation, it traps some black women. It's like you gotta break out of that. You gotta stop that immediately.
Like if you're gonna be my husband, you're gonna be my husband, not my son. I don't owe you shit. It is
exactly.
not. But the black
I owe you nothing.
Right. And they're dragging her through the mud, and it's your fault.
Yeah.
Like it's Blackistan's fault. It's Pookie and Ray Ray and them's fault, straight up. And the thing that will never ever allow me to going back to accepting black male bullshit is the lack of mutual compassion and empathy that's displayed for black women.
Absolutely.
Everyone, Eric Garner and all those other men, they can be killed, and black women are right out there in the streets. But little girls are raped and murdered or come up missing, and black men are not in the streets. There's no empathy, there's no sympathy for what black girls deal with and go through. So
and nobody really tries to understand ever.
Well, I mean, look at all the slackervist, and all the all the hashtags, right? And what did the hashtag for Sarah Brand, right? That was her name?
Sarah Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Yeah. Right? What did all those hashtags have to say after them? They said hashtag her name, and then they said hashtag know her name. Like she was so small in that list of police brutality, and because it was a female's name, nobody really knew the story until you had to go and look for the story. Like, I didn't hear about the story on the site. I saw somebody's hashtag, and I had to go look at the story.
Yeah, it's nobody's marching in the street, and then for these young black women, they're not. So that leads into my next point, where we need to practice self-care. Self-care is an act of self-preservation and self-love. Protect and nurture your space, mind, body, and spirit. If we don't do it for ourselves, nobody is going to do it for us. Okay.
Yeah. True story.
So we have to be selfish. We have to worry about our well-being. Protect our girls.
Right.
And ourselves. And be unapologetic about it.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of has a little bit to do, though, with what we were talking about in the whole pop culture sort of situation, and not to harsh on that, but the whole, fighting for the rights of so many other people when we barely have rights, and we're not even really seen as women. We're more color than we are as women, and we have to start looking at our own needs and wants and desires and just everything that we need, and we have to go full force for it without worrying about what other people are dealing with, and because nobody's looking out for us. So we've got to do it for ourselves, and we can't feel bad for taking care of ourselves finally.
Yep. And black men are going to be mad. And white women
they're always mad.
And white women are going to get mad. But you mad or no?
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't even matter to me, because I'm here for me. And I'm going to
Exactly.
and I'm going to be selfish. So let's go to the comments. Duncan Kim says, I think her, Lil Kim, her whole situation is just so sad. She looks a hot mess. And Crazy responds and says she does, but my heart aches for her and her daughter, and one can only hope that she's secure within herself when she gets older. Diana says, now, I asked them who was at the gates of Africa when they went down. Brooklyn Blue on YouTube, who I love. I do listen to that. Yeah, who in the hell was at the gate when D White Man came and was like, yo, we want to see what's up over here. Brooklyn Blue on YouTube taught me that. Now they get silent with all that white supremacy mess.
Hey, another good. Let's give a shout out to our Lennon Honor too.
Oh, I love him. When I tell you, he is the black man to watch. Lennon Honor. He is a.
Because we kind of touched on some of the stuff he was talking about earlier with the hip hop culture, and that guy is
hip hop culture.
Amazing.
He does. He's
mass media manipulation. He points out that.
Yeah, he's dope, you guys. Go check him out. Tell him we sent you. He
is a little bit repetitive.
Yeah, I can listen to him for hours on end, and he is about self-care, and he doesn't just walk the walk, or he doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. He's been married for, I think he just celebrated his 15th year anniversary, and he's got 5, as he says, 5 beautiful children, and he is a man of honor. I absolutely love him, and we need more black men like him. He's not that Hotep dude, he's not any of that, so. He's awesome. Amazing. Lennon Honor. Yeah, check him out. I think it's actually one in London, too. But Khadija says, you're preaching, D. Diana Wellington says, I follow him on YouTube and Twitter. I like him. He's dope. He is definitely dope. So that was, that was one of my speaking points. One of the that stuck out with me. Just protecting self-care. We have to just improve ourselves economically, emotionally, and mentally, because there's so much emotional instability and mental unwellness. Is that a word? Unwellness? Yeah. There's just so much of that. We don't address it. We don't address it in our community. So you have to be. We don't want ratchet ass Bunquifa talking about I want a white man, and I want a white man. I've been, her
baby with some good hair,
you want, good hair babies, like.
If you want to avoid the sugar.
We're talking about, people who have maybe been in Blackistan, know there's better, I want to get out. Women who, are like, how do I get to this social level? Or, sometimes you got to leave the people behind, and that's it. Like, don't apologize for it. My aunt called me, bougie a couple weeks ago, cussing me out. She's Blackistan all the way. All the way. And she was like,
I've been calling me bougie since I was like,
yeah, so I was like, solid. And I just blocked her and moved on,
I own it now. I tell people when I describe myself, I'm a bougie to a T. Like, I'm bougie. Like, please call me bougie.
Call me whatever the hell you want. Call me whatever the hell you want. Just don't call me stupid, because I'm not dealing with you. So that's all a part of practicing self-care and self-preservation and self-love. Protect and nurture your space, your mind, your body, and spirit.
Yeah.
I think important along with that too, like, protect yourself and then go experience things, right? Like, go have new experiences that you typically wouldn't have. Go to places that you wouldn't normally go. One of my points is to travel to different city, state, or even country, and to get a passport, and then to fill that passport, because there's a huge world out here, and a lot of the time, the media, culture, everything wants us living right here, when we have all this available to us. They want us seeing our life as being what we can see in front of us, right? They want us being at. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to do this with the camera. They want us looking at right here and seeing this is what your life will be, because it's control, and they want to control us, right? So this is where they want your life to be, is right here in this specific set of guidelines that they've pre-established for you. But the whole world is available to us.
Yeah.
And go travel, go experience something different, go to someplace new, go meet new people, go live new experiences. And what I love
Learn
about
a different language.
right, and we've already talked about that in our chat. We've talked about language. We talked about Diana mentioned earlier that she lived in Mexico for a while. Or I believe she said she lived in Mexico for a while.
Yeah.
Go experience things that are outside of the norm, and do things that are going to take you and build you into a stronger person. Because those experiences will give you more of a perspective on life. And I live in Southern California, and it doesn't rain often. And whenever it does rain, it's like a script. Everyone in Southern California says, "Well, we need the rain," but I don't need the rain because of the fake drought that the media has pretended that we're in. I need the rain because I had an experience when I traveled overseas, and I went to Kenya, and I walked into a room and saw a room full of women crying and screaming and praying, the most intense prayer I've ever seen, and they were praying for rain because they were educated, smart women, but because the crops were dying and the animals were dying, even though they had an education and even though they had the opportunity to gain a little bit of freedom through their education, their families were going to sell them so that the family could live. They were going to sell them into marriages with other men, older men, so that their family could make it through the drought. So now when it rains, I don't go, "Oh, yay, California needs rain." I'm thankful that I live in a place where my sisters aren't being bartering pieces for family survival.
Right.
So when you experience those things, it changes a perspective of. I'm not lying. Every single time it rains, I'm thankful for that. I think of that every single time it rains.
That's awesome.
That's really good. A really good outlook to have on it.
Mm-hmm.
And one you never would have gotten if you hadn't gotten up outside of your front door.
Right.
I was supposed to go to Greece in June because I have my cousin, so it's my second cousin. She is biracial, and she has peeps in Greece, and she actually just moved back to the States after 10 years abroad. She is teaching. She went to college, and then she was teaching English as a second language. She just moved back on my mom's birthday, which was February 1st, to the States from Saudi Arabia because it just became way too much there to live. And she was in Korea for 2 years before that. So she's got a, I think is it Jordanian, if he's from Jordan?
Yeah.
Fiance now. So she's, in the process of all that. But she's going to Greece for the summer, and she's like, "Let's roll," and I told her you could find it within, this price range for me. We're out. So this was in February. So then, of course, she comes back about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was like, "Oh, I found it." And I'm like, "Seriously? Like, months ago, you were supposed to, give me this hookup." Because the way my house is set up, and the way I need to get my whole HVAC system done in my house, I won't be going until next year. But the point with all that is, I'm out. Like, I'm out next year. And, Shayla, my little roadie, she's going to see as much as I'm able to show her. And that will set the precedent for her. Like, she's not going to accept anything less. She's going to be like, "Look, I've been X, Y, and Z. This is what I've done." I want her to think globally. She's 10 now, and I want her to just to think globally. And that's why I love her schools. They have missionaries, and I tell her that Mr. Daniel is a missionary, and she just loves it. And you can just see that she's not going to be caught up in Blackistan. She's going to know that there's so much out there, and she's going to want to go see it.
Yeah. I think that's awesome because that just makes her less likely to settle for less than what she should deserve. She deserves the most, and she's not going to just accept whatever comes flying at her. She's going to have expectations, and she's going to have a different outlook, and that's awesome.
Yeah, because she's got people around her, someone in her corner saying, and showing her, you don't accept this shit. It's not what you do, and this is not okay, and this behavior is not okay, and this mindset is not okay. So.
Well, that's it. I think even for like a mother, I always, and this is something that I get judged on, but I tell people, especially when I talk to like other moms, I tell them, when you have daughters, especially, you set the bar with what they accept for their life. So if you're accepting, ain't shit dudes, they're gonna start accepting ain't shit dudes. So what you have to do is show them is that when you encounter somebody who ain't shit, you keep it moving. And so I do that all the time. And I do it all the time. Like that's how I want my daughter to be, is to know that if this is not working for you, keep it moving. So and I look at her and I see like when I'm in a relationship or something, or if I'm accepting something for my life that's not quite right, I look at the example that it's gonna set for her and I act accordingly and adjust. So that she sees that you don't accept less than the absolute best for yourself. And even if you kind of get caught up in accepting something that isn't quite right, you absolutely have to take control of that situation and make it work for you and change that into something better. So if that means letting go of somebody, you do that.
Yep. Well, guys, that's our list.
No, you had one more, Dee.
No, it was, be mysterious. Yeah. Be stealth. So if you're making these plans and you know that you're going to be doing X, Y, and Z, you plan on cutting off a mofo, you plan on traveling, you plan on whatever it is that you're planning on doing, you've got your list and you're checking it off, be stealth about it. You don't need to tell everybody because not everybody is here for what you're here for. And we all know. Smile on your face all the time. They want to take your place. Backstabbers. Be stealth about things. Don't be all up on social media. I plan on doing this or I plan on doing that. Just do it, and they'll see you on the flip side.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to learn to close our mouths. Close our mouths and walk the walk.
And be mysterious and give somebody something to go, ooh, what's going on with there?
Right.
Something that intrigues people into looking in and leaning in and saying, I want to see what's going on with that. Because that creates curiosity, and how can I emulate that in my life? That's success. How can I emulate that in my life?
In a world...
world of Kardashians.
Danny sent me a book called The Shack that I'm just getting around to reading. And I swear, I sent you a message about this, right, Danny? Where I said I'm already just like engrossed. So it's in a world of talkers. So the character in this book. So, and I just want to say this to you guys, and we can. Well, Duck and Kim said, Danny, that's a very touching story. Yeah, it's beautiful. It was really beautiful. But with regard to being mysterious or being stealth about your plans and living your best life, if you don't have the support, just zip it and just do it, and then they'll see your back.
Yeah.
Right.
On the flip side, just do it and be unapologetic about who you are. If you're weird, if you're a nerd, you like sci-fi, whatever, be that. If you like wigs, wear your damn wigs. Just be you.
That goes into my last one. That goes to my last one is be yourself. Be yourself. Be unapologetically, authentically you. If you're a Valley girl who's like, oh my gosh, and you're my shade of brown, rock it. if you only date white guys, rock it. Whatever.
That's it.
Be you and don't even care what other people think.
Nope. And in a world of talkers, be a thinker and a doer.
Yeah.
Let your actions speak louder.
We love you guys. Thanks for joining us. We know it's a long one.
Our next show is going to be our annual Loving Day.
Oh, yes.
So it'll be a different day, different time. And we'll let you guys know about that on Facebook. And I'm working on getting some guests, some guests that I think you guys will appreciate seeing. So, Loving Day is what, June 12th?
Yeah, I believe so. So it'll be the same Swirl channel, different Swirl day.
Yeah, it would be a different day. I think it falls on a Sunday, so we're going to do this on a Sunday, which will be different. But yeah, so make sure to be paying attention to the Facebook and the Twitter and the Tumblr are sometimes updated, but Facebook is where it's at. So
yeah, we'll get better.
We love you guys. Thanks for conversing with us.
Great show tonight.
Sticking in there with us.
Just be, open and honest. We love your dialogue. There wouldn't be a show without you.
Yeah.
We love you guys, and we'll see you next time. And if you want to talk to us in the meantime, you know where to reach us.
Where to find us, yep.
Bye,
We're all
guys.
around.
Bye.